Hello,
All right.
everyone. Thank you for coming. Let's get this info session rolling. We are here. We are joined by the wonderful chair of the CISA Film Department, Pietro Pinto. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yeah, fantastic. Must be Italian by now.
Like you. I'm Jessica Hemingway. I'm the outreach coordinator for California State Summer School for the Arts, also known as CISA. It's a month-long residential summer arts program for high schoolers in the state of California. And we're here tonight to talk to you about the film program. We've got a really short slide presentation to show you. We're going to go over the film program, day-to-day stuff, and then the application, and then there will be time for questions. You can put your question in the chat, or you can unmute and ask your question if you are so bold. But without further ado, let's get rolling.
All right. Thank you very much, Jesse, for your introduction. And thank you, everybody, to coming for this fantastic info session in the PM time. I would love to see your faces, actually, everybody. So if you want to turn your camera, it's great to engage. I mean, I know we are in the virtual world, and after pandemic, we're so used to, keep our camera off. But Derek, voila, here we go. Aquila, did I pronounce it right? Annabelle, great to see you. Yeah, that's what I want. Exactly. And let me start by saying that even before talking about the film program, CISA is a life-changing experience. And it's all about engaging with a community and creating a community. Now you're all artists, you're all on your way to become fantastic filmmaker, or who knows, maybe animator, dancers, musicians. The beauty of CISA is that it doesn't only offer the film program, but there is dance, there is music, there is animation, theater, and therefore it's a wonderful opportunity to explore and meet with other fantastic peers of your age that are really interested in arts. And of course, filmmaking is the seven art, right? So it includes a little bit of everything because there is no movie without a great soundtrack. There is no film without great performance or great actors. And who knows, maybe you're experimental. You want to throw a little bit of animation to your film. So, first off, CISA, and you have to look at CISA not only as the film program, but as a 4 week fantastic experience, a CalArts, a beautiful campus, probably one of the best campus in California, if not all over the states, where you're going to live, because you move a CalArts, and so you'll spend 4 weeks in on campus, and you will engage with other fantastic artists, musicians, again, dancers, actors, and etc. etc. And this means that you will experience, which is my second point, also a very intensive program, college-like, so to have a first-hand experience of what does it mean to really pursue a secondary education into the domain of arts, right? So there couldn't be a better experience to also understand if this is what you want and to understand, how intense and how difficult to navigate the challenges of college, right? Um, More specifically, I am, yeah, and now we can jump into this. I am the film chair. And so we have a fantastic film program, which, it's crafted in 4 weeks, of course, like any other program. And during which, as you can see in this beautiful slide, right, we navigate a little bit of everything narrative filmmaking, but also documentary, cinema theory. We have experimental films. We shoot in film. We use the actual film to give you that experience of how everything began and started, right? So my experience and what I want to bring, what I brought to the program last year when I joined as a new film chair was really to try to make this program very worthy for you. My goal is to make sure that by the end of the program, you have a good portfolio of narrative, documentary, and experimental films that you can present when you are going to do your application for high school, for colleges and private film schools, which is very, very important because if you may want to apply to FI, CalArts, but also San Francisco State or you see San Diego, you really need to have a strong portfolio to be taken into consideration, right? So that's my first objective, is a very hands-on program where you come, you meet other filmmakers, and you work together as a team because filmmaking is a team work to make movies. More specifically, last year we used the first 2 weeks to make one short film, one short narrative film of 2 minutes and a half, one short documentary film also of 2 minutes and a half, maximum 3 minutes, right? A group of three students. And then we spend the last 2 weeks instead, once you get to know each other, once you are getting familiar with the equipment, to make a thesis film, which means, a 7-minute film with a bigger team, right? Where you really get the opportunity to take advantage of your fantastic faculty and their feedback to make a real short film that you can present in your college applications. So, like I said, this first point is to say that yes, you'll come to film school, to CSAT, to make and produce films that you have in your portfolio. However, the film program is an actual school, wants to give you the experience of a college. And so in a college, like especially if you take, for instance, CalArts, I teach at UCLA, I work with CalArts, I teach at San Francisco Film School. Wherever you go, you have to take classes that could be film history, that could be post-production, and so editing, right? How to use Premiere Pro rather than Avid, how to be and take classes in directing, how to work with actors. So the program is structured so that every morning of the week, usually the week is Monday to Saturday, right? Classes are 9 to 5 p.m. with a break for lunch. And then Saturday is a shorter day. It's like 9 to 12 p.m. To 12 p.m. So a short day. But the way it works is that in the morning, every morning, you will take a class, and could be directing, could be screenwriting, could be producing, could be editing. And in the afternoon, instead, I want you to focus on your own project, on your own films. But this means that you have classes, right, to, as you see here, to navigate the real film process from pre-production, I would say even development. So coming up with an idea for your film, writing a log line, if you know what a log line is, if not, learning what a log line is, and then writing a short synopsis, eventually treatment and a script, and then moving to, actually to production. So starting to, getting ready to do the casting, to cast your actors and do a scout location to see the location where to go film, and then, of course, getting into production and then post-production till you have your film done to screen at CISA, because we do screening. We do screening during the week to see work in progress, and we do screenings at the very end of the week to see your finished work. Of course, you can invite students from other departments, and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience, to be all together and to share your own work. So this is the second point. The third point, that is the most important maybe, is that CISA, it's really a wonderful space. We thankfully are founded, by the state of California. We want to give an opportunity to everybody, not only those that have film experience, but those that are really passionate about filmmaking and maybe have never used a camera. I don't believe in, selecting students that are already perfect and made perfect film, and therefore they have to come to CISA. I really believe in students that are passionate and enthusiastic about pursuing their dreams, right? And maybe some of you have never used a camera, or they have no idea how to make a movie, but they know that is what they want to do because they great storytellers, and when they sit around the table with their friends, they know how to motivate them and tell beautiful stories. So the opportunity at that we do at CISA is that everybody is included and welcome. And not only you will learn from a fantastic faculty, but also you will learn from great professionals that work in the industry. Last year, just to say some names, we had Steve Starkey, that is the producer of Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Back to the Future, who came to give a beautiful masterclass about producing. We had Sharon Mayer, who is a fantastic cinematographer of Whiplash. I don't know if you have ever seen Whiplash, but there is a new film coming out just now called Monkey Man. And he's the cinematographer of that film. And it's a great and established cinematographer. The film Monkey Man is produced by Jordan Peele. So, Get Out, just to say a beautiful film of the recent years. And we had Andrea Pallahoro, is an upcoming filmmaker who had a beautiful film starring the first transgender actress to compete at the Venice Film Festival last year. The film is called Monica, and it was a fantastic masterclass where we navigate also the space of queer cinema. So it's very important, and we keep an eye open to those artists that for sure are very well established and have a great success in the industry, but also those artists whose voice is really unique and whose film is really trying to make a change in this world. This is what I'm interested in, right? And try to make films that can have social impact, that can really change our way of perceiving the world. As you can see here in the right photo, instead is the last great artist. His name in the center of the photo. Here on the right, you can see all of us, some of our faculty, and all our students. One day we went to the American Cinematheque, the Arrow Theater here in Santa Monica. It was a beautiful experience to, sit all together in a movie theater, eating popcorns and laughing and crying, watching a fantastic film by Christian Petzold that you can see here in the middle of the photo, that we had the opportunity to meet and exchange a little brief, meet and greet, and was a wonderful opportunity to have fun all together and really meet the director that just presented at the American Cinematheque with hundreds of people his latest film. So it was a wonderful opportunity, and this is to say that aside for making sure that you have a great portfolio, aside making sure that you learn from your teachers, right, from your faculty, the craft of filmmaking, you also have the opportunity to do a field trip in wonderful places like the American Cinematheque. Who knows, maybe we're going to visit a studio, we're talking to Sony, and eventually meet those people that are working in the film industry and learn from them. Next slide. Thank you very much to Jessica. We come to what maybe is very important, what this info session is all about, which is, CISA is, however, extremely competitive summer program, maybe one of the best in the country. We receive a lot of applications. Last year, I believe I received 140 or 120, and we only have 45 spot available. What is great to say is that we have a lot of scholarships, and I would say that at least half of our students are on a scholarship. This is a reminder: everybody is welcome to apply. Everybody will have an opportunity to get a scholarship, and everybody will definitely have is welcome. Okay. However, it is true that it is competitive, and maybe I will select 1 out of 3, if not more, students. So this info session is to tell you that the deadline for the application is coming up, and that the most important thing is to really build a strong application. If you really are committed to come meet me, meet my fantastic faculty, and meet all the other wonderful students of the other departments that will join CISA. Therefore, here we are. The application that you'll submit is divided in 4 assignments. The very first one, right, as you can read here on the left side, is to describe in your own words the role that you want film to play in your own life. as well as your beliefs on what filmmakers have to offer to society. And this is very important to me. I really want to hear your voice, right? Why is filmmaking important? As I said before, some of you might have been already making films and attended festivals. That's all great. Regardless, I really want to know if you are able to express why is film so important to you, and I want you to convince me somehow that these not only is very valuable for you, but that the way you look at the world and therefore at filmmaking, right? And how these will really um, help us build a better tomorrow. Because again, my point is really this: I think films can change people's lives, and I know for sure that you make fantastic film, and I want to hear why you want to be with us, why you want to learn the craft and make these wonderful films. Then second assignment, here on the right side you can see one of our instructors, cinematographer Daniel Miramontes, that with few students is starting to setting up some panels, reflecting panels for some lighting exercise. So again, you really will have, this is another thing that I should say, the opportunity to really use a lot of fancy equipment that it's very hard to get. This is something that I was really fighting for last year, to bring more equipment, more cameras, so that we can give you a fantastic experience. However, the second assignment, which is here, film assignment B, is to describe a film or TV show that has inspired you, right? And these and the next one are very dear to me. Everybody has a film that they really like, right? For me, I don't know how many of you have seen a film called In the Mood for Love. Anybody? From Wong Kar-wai, fantastic Taiwanese director? Nobody. Great. This is great. This is already homework for you all. Oh, Aiden. Aiden saw it. Great. Like that, hands up. Great. Thank you, Aiden. However, yeah, the idea is, to just tell me what is a TV show or a film that really inspired you. Try to give a deep analysis, of the film. What really stand out to you, but also what would you have done in a different way? Don't be afraid to bring criticism. I'm really looking forward to your own unique voice, and therefore there has been something that was great, but don't forget to tell me also what you would have done in a different way. However, what is that excites you about it, and what is that inspire you, and what and therefore in what capacity it will help you making films tomorrow, right? So this is a very simple assignment. And the next one, film assignment number C, once we can see one of our students take a beautiful selfie with the famous director Christian Petzold on the right side, is again to instead go more specific into an artist. So again, filmmaking is not only uh, cinema in the term of commercial movies, and so Martin Scorsese or Julie Decournau or Wong Kar-wai, or you name it, Christopher Nolan. But filmmaking is also experimental films, documentary films, is also music videos. It's really very broad. And so I really would like for you to focus on an artist. It could definitely be Christopher Nolan if you're really inspired by his films. Um, but it could also be, I don't know, a director of a music video that you really like the Innocenzo brother, who have just recently made a fantastic music video. And what I would like, again, to understand is why this director inspires you, and what is that you want to bring into your work from this director, but also the way in which you want eventually to make your films. For me, it's very important, and the way we design CISA is to try to really find your own voice. Some of you maybe want to do comedies, some of you want to do dramas. What I care is really not to emulate someone famous. Of course, we all like and do copy. I mean, try to imitate directors that we love and admire. And this is the process, the process of growing and learning. This is the common learning process. But eventually, I want to hear how will you use some of the skills, maybe the camera work that Christopher Nolan uses rather than Wonka Wai to make your own film. So don't be afraid to tell me eventually how these really affect your own way of making films or your desire to making movies. And then we have the last assignment, which is to submit one of the film that you created. Maximum length of the film should be 10 minutes. I would say 120 applications, so it's a lot to go through, and 10 minutes is a good time frame for me to understand your skills. The submission can include, the equipment that you used, and again, it could be you shot it with an Arri Alexa, or with a Sony, or it could be you shot it with your iPhone. I really don't care. It's not the equipment that we're looking forward to, or it's not the equipment that will make a difference. And, it's very important that together with the short film that you submit, you have a little paragraph or one page short description of the project. This is the second point, is really what I care about. I really want to hear your creative process. Creative process is really everything that has to do with, coming up with your idea to figure out how to make the movie. Maybe, you had to steal your grandmother's phone to make this happen, but you really wanted to. So, you commit this crime, but eventually you ask your sister to act into it. And eventually you have the film. And that's all I care about. And, these will stand out to me as, capability and, really, really devotion to the art of filmmaking. However, no, jokes aside, what is important is to understand how you navigate it, from the initial idea to the final export of your film, the making of your own short film. And then, of course, don't hesitate to tell me the role you played. You don't have to be the director. You could be the writer. You could be the cinematographer. You could be the editor. You could be the producer. You could be the person that was looking at it and understood that wanted to make films, and therefore, that's why you have to come to CISA. And I will listen to this. Okay. This is to say that, again, I'm not interested really in having a beautiful film. So don't be afraid to, build this application saying, oh, I don't have the coolest camera and I wasn't the director, therefore I won't be selected. But really, don't be shy. Explain very well the reason why you want to participate and why CISA is so important for you and why films is so important to you. And then, if you have a film you worked on, great. If you don't you worry. I will still listen to I will still consider your application and fee and try to understand, how unique your voice is. I'm sure it will be, and I'm sure you have a chance to get in this program. The last assignment that is returning students is an extra assignment for those that have already attended students. So I want to be really honest. It's very hard for me to, choose a student that has already applied to CISA, because I really want, and we want to give opportunity to new students. We want everybody to really experience CISA and enjoy the program and, have a great time. So it will be very, very hard for me to pick another student that has already into the program. However, you never say never, right? Because there are people that are really, really talented and they're really, really committed. And, for me to consider those students, it's very important to have an extra page, I would say 150 words, but I would say a page where I understand your reason for wishing to return to CISA and, explain your learning objective for the second summer experience. So I really want to understand why it's so important for you to come back and what are your goals, right? It has to be very clear. And eventually you have to submit all new assignments, right? And I want to see your growth, which means, I really want to see how CISA has had an impact in you and the way you tell stories. And eventually, that this program will help you grow again. Again, never say never. It would be a pleasure, to give a second chance to students that have already participated if they're really committed, and we can see that this could be really helpful. Again, we really are devoted to try to, give a great experience and the skills for you to become, that great artist that you really are. So again, don't hesitate to apply. And if you are a student that wishes to return, though, spend a good time in building a even stronger application. Okay. All right. With this said, I think that I have an overview of how many of you, beautiful faces. Ciao, I see you all now. Great. I had a good explanation of the program. I want to say two more things. The first thing is that once you attend CISA, you can earn college credits. This is very important because it means that once you finish the program, you'll have a certificate, and if you apply to college, you can earn 3 credits, and this is great, right? Because it counts for your education. And then that there will be also some scholarship that will awarded to some students. This goes to the judgment of the faculty. There are 2 scholarships for $4,000 and one for $40,000. So it's definitely something to take into consideration. Again, the way we look at it is that it's an extra opportunity to join CISA and to, maybe get that support to pursue your education. With this said, again, we are not, however, looking, and we not consider a film program that wants to build competition. I'm not interested in being better than other people, and I'm not giving these. We will not award this to the best. I mean, I don't even understand what the best is. We really want to see the potential. We want to see the potential and the growth, right? So for both building your application, I'm not interested into having something perfect. I just want to hear your voice and get to know you and get to understand how important this is for you and how this could have an impact into your future. And then same thing, where we are not welcoming people that are interested in being the first, but people that are interested in enjoying the learning process and learning from one another to make films and eventually, have a great portfolio and all of the above. All right, I'm done. And now the most important part comes, which is questions, but I'll give the word to Jessica.
We have one question, raised hand.
All right, perfection.
Derek, you want to ask?
My bottle, CISA bottle, by the way. Right, Derek. Yes, go for it. Where are you calling from? We can't hear you. Shout.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, about the campus.
Wait, we can't hear you properly. Try again. Okay, we can't hear you,
Why
Derek.
don't you,
Maybe
can
you
you write
want
it in the
to,
chat?
yeah, write it in the chat or maybe log in again.
While you're writing your question, Derek, I have another question that just came in.
Oh,
Can
great.
the film for assignment film D be something we did a few years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. It really, I would say if it is relevant to you, if it's important to you, it will be important for me. So, it could definitely be something you shot even 3 years ago. The important thing is that if if it is something that if you're doing it because you are not willing to go out and try to make a new film, I would try to push you, even though I know it is complex to make a new film. I'll try to push you, use your phone, friends, and do something new. But if it is instead something that you think is relevant and important, go for it and I'll be very happy to look at it.
Great. Hey, Derek, you want to try asking your question again? Or you want to put it in the chat? Maybe that'll help us hear it clearly.
And I want to also make a question. How many of you really want to? Oh yeah, Derek. I think we have problem with the sound, so with the connection with your mic. So put it in the chat. How many of you really want to come to the film program? Hands up. Anyone? Yeah, Santiago. Great. Yeah. Oh, everybody. Great. All right. Oh, how many? Really? Everybody. Ooh, I'm lucky me. So many of you. Fantastic. And Santiago, how did you learn about the film program? Have you learned it in
Hello,
school?
hello, could you
Hello?
hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
great.
I go to this I learned it in my school. I think you guys came once.
Mm-hmm.
I go to Loxa
All right.
and yeah, I learned it there and I think it would be really fun to come during summer and I
Oh,
really like making films.
you already made few films? Have you ever tried or?
Yeah, I have. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy the process of making it.
Fantastic. Great. I love this. So I get to know you all. Great, Santiago. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All these ends are up because you all want to come to the film program or you have beautiful questions for me. Don't be afraid to ask your questions. Who has a question for me?
There's another question that came in the chat. Can the submission
Yeah.
be a podcast?
I'm sorry. Can the submission be?
A podcast.
Yes, it could. I like to be creative. However, we are focusing making films, so I would try to then in the paragraph, that you can submit along with with the podcast that you submitted me. I would like to understand how this is relevant for you in making films tomorrow, and there is, films, just look at documentaries. There are fantastic documentaries that start from something completely different than filmmaking and yet can tell a story. So I want to understand how, however, these can be important for you to not only using, and doing podcast, radio, or, interviews to fantastic artists, but also making real films and telling story through the visual language. Okay.
Derek wants to try his mic one more time.
Go, Derek. Go, Derek. Go, Derek. Go.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Wait.
Yes. Okay.
I know
Cool.
you. I know
I had a question about the Cal Arts campus. I had a question about the Cal Arts campus.
Wait,
I
Derek
was
is a
wondering if
student
there
that
are
came
any
to CISA last year, right?
bricks.
Derek, are you a
I was
student
wondering
that
if there are
came?
any logs or bricks at the Cal Arts campus.
So Derek is a
I
student
wanted to
that
ask
came
if there
to.
are any logs at the Cal Arts campus.
Yeah, I understood. So
I was
Derek is
disguised
a
the whole
student.
time. Pietro.
I know. Derek came to CISA last year and, was a fantastic student who made a beautiful comedy short thesis film. And, to answer to your question, I don't know. We have to come back and figure it out by yourself. We'll see if your application is strong enough for finding out an answer, But it's great to see you, Derek. Always great to see you.
We have a few more questions
Or,
coming in through the chat.
mm-hmm.
How hard would you say it is for freshmen to get in to this film program?
Again, last year we had a student that was, how old was he? 14 years old. And I made an exception. I have to be honest. Through my application, I was looking at, students. Usually, I would say, the percentage is mostly, I would say 16, 18, 17. It's mostly the average age. But, the application by the students was so good that I said, "Oh my God, we need to have to have to have him coming to the program." He made a fantastic a thesis film that was wonderful. Same, we had students that were 18 years old, and they were about to jump into a new era of their life. And for me, it's really about how strong your application is, and how committed you are in telling the stories you want to tell. So I don't care. You could also be, 12 years old. You could be 22 years old. Maybe people that are 25 years old wouldn't get into the program because they're not as passionate as you are. So convince me that you really want to come, and your age or grade or whatever it is, it won't really impact me. I'm really honest, even because if you go out there in the industry, it's not about the age, it's really about, your ideas and the quality of your work. All right.
And another question, are you judging on the length of the film submission? So if a student's film is 5 minutes,
No. The length is really the last thing. Oh, now I can see the chat. Great. The last thing that I value. It's not about the lengths, and I really don't care. I really am interested in the way you look at the world, the way you take a look at the world in your film. If it's compelling, if has. I don't want to say a message because it's not about a message. It's never about a message, but about the way you look at the world. And I want to be captured by that. And the way I teach is because I can learn so much. So I want to learn from you. And also, don't take these as a judgment. This is another thing that I want to say now before anything. If by any chance you shouldn't get selected this year, this doesn't mean that your work is not valuable. It means that maybe in the grammar of the submission, this year, it wasn't aligned. It wasn't working out. But this doesn't mean that you are a great director or great filmmaker, and this doesn't mean that next year, we will absolutely have you coming to CISA. Again, I make so many films. We submit films to film festivals. Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. And, rejection is never and doesn't have to be considered as a failure. It's just, taking a look at that lineup of that festival and understanding if that is the year that works for you or if it's maybe next year. So don't get these whatever. If you apply and it shouldn't get accepted, don't hesitate to reapply the next year or contact me and asking questions why it didn't work out this year and how you could improve for next year.
And
yes,
do the films need dialogue?
The film, again, it's really up to you. Usually I would say it's nice to have dialogue, but actually I'm a filmmaker that does very little dialogue in my movies. Sometimes there is no dialogue at all. So no, I mean, it's up to you. It's really up to you. And for me, it's not important. For me, what matters is that there is a story with a conflict, right? And with all your heart in it, and whatever you want to say that really can touch my heart, right? So I just care for the story. I don't care for the length, don't care for the dialogue. As far as you tell the story you want to tell, I'm sure, it will be valuable to submit.
And there was a question that came in, if they apply and get accepted and can't end up going, are they welcome to apply again?
This is very technical. I do think so, right? Maybe you, Jessica, you know more on that because I don't know exactly what the policies are, but I do think that, if you just let us know, and then for sure you can reapply the next year. Also, I think that student can apply to more than one program, right, Jessica? So I would say, also, like I was saying in the beginning, CISA is a life-changing experience because you have so many programs. And so you could also consider to apply to different programs, animation, writing. Maybe you want to be a writer or a dancer, and apply to all of them and see which one you get in. And we'll be happy to, have you in whatever capacity. Yeah.
And we have another question from
copyright music. Oh, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Is the curriculum going to be different for a returning student?
Yeah, well, every experience is different in the sense that more or less the structure is the same, right? However, it's a completely different experience because we'll have different faculty, meaning that the majority is coming back, but there will be few, thank God, new elements, which is always great to have some change. There will be new students, therefore new assignments, because filmmaking and the program is really based on the movie that you want to make. So you won't work on the same project. So everything it will be definitely different, even though the structure is more or less the same, which means you'll make 2 to 3 films and you will have class in the morning and you will work on your film project in the afternoon. Yeah, great. And then
is it okay if a film is really short, like a minute or under?
Absolutely. It could be 30 seconds. There are some commercials that 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and yet works so great because they managed to tell your story. Again, if it works for you, if it's valuable for you, will be valuable for me. The important is it really has to be important. I mean, don't do a film because you have to do a film and to have a film submitted. These will really look bad in your application. If I see that you didn't put any effort and you're not telling a story and you're just doing it for the sake of the submission, then it's not working. I would rather focus your time in building strong, in building the other assignments properly, like explaining me why you're so committed to CISA and telling me about the artists you like, right? But if you do it great. And yes, it can be 1 second, it could be 10 seconds, it could be maximum 10 minutes. Thank you. 10 minutes, 5, 8, dialogue, not dialogue, music, not music, music with copyright, music without copyright, whatever you want. Here we are not on YouTube. I won't have anybody sue you. I could try if you want me to, but I'll be very honest. I'll give you a go and just make a movie that is important to you and spend time. But if you submit something that it's not important to you, then I'll look at it and say, okay, they don't even try, and this will really look bad on your application. Okay. So eventually also to say that, yes, you really should submit a film, but if you really, really, really can't because you don't have the means, the tools, try to, build other strong assignments. Okay. All right.
And is it allowed to have violence or implied violence in their film?
Violence? Oh, violence. Sorry, I was like, violin? I love violin. I'm Italian, guys, my accent and my English. I'm still working on it. But violins, yes, I want violin. No, yes, anything, again, anything that you think is important for you. I think that I'm not a filmmaker that want to sponsor violence and not interested in the portray of violence itself. But I do understand that we live in a very violent world and that sometimes, it's very important to tell a story about it, to have awareness of the change that must be made in this world. So if violence is a tool for you to tell a story, yes. If it's for the sake of violence itself, I'm not. I already tell you, I wouldn't be real interested in it. Okay.
Ooh, this is a good one. Would it be helpful if we also submit a storyboard with our film?
Yeah, absolutely. The most it can show me your work in the domain of filmmaking and your experience, the best it is. Again, you want to build a strong application, and storyboard. It's a great step in the making of a film, and I think would be absolutely valuable to include it in the package of your synopses and the role that you play in the film. And so yes, absolutely.
And I received another question asking if we're expecting a higher number of applicants this year versus last year.
I think that more or less, I don't know, maybe Jessica knows better, but we are doing outreach, and we are every year, the word spreads out more. So I would say that so far, also looking at the statistic, we always had more students. Actually, as a matter of fact, the film program went from having 40 students to having almost 50 students last year. So we are increasing the number of participants because the submissions are also increasing. So yeah, I would say so, which means build a strong application.
Mm-hmm. Any other
Who has a
questions?
question?
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Santiago. Oh yeah, go for it.
Will the program
Oh,
include
sorry.
more in-depth look at screenplays and actual character development in writing?
Yes, the program is really built to give you a college-like experience of what filmmaking is. I really love to read these because character development is everything. Characters are everything in filmmaking. If you don't have a strong character, you don't have a strong story. I want to have character I can create empathy with, relate with, and therefore care for, and therefore love the movie. So absolutely, screenplay, it's the key, for how fancy you want to get with cranes and dollies and anamorphic lenses or VFX. Nothing can beat a good story, which means a good script. And so yes, we'll definitely we have a fantastic faculty that will guide you through cinematography, screenwriting, directing, producing, and post-production. Great. Who made this question? Jesse, are you up there on the left side? Grande. Are you a screenwriter, Jesse?
Sorry, what was that?
Are you a screenwriter? Are you a director? Are you a
Um,
cinematographer?
all just overall film
Oh,
up here. Yeah.
great. Come meet us. Come meet us. We will dive into screenwriting. Don't you worry.
Can I ask a couple more questions?
Of course.
Okay.
I
So I
like
wanted.
this. I like everybody. Don't be shy. Go open mic, and I want to hear your voice. Yes. It's also an opportunity for you to engage with me and Jessica, so it's great. Yeah, go, Jesse.
I wanted to know in the program, would it be up to us what film software we use, whether it's Adobe or DaVinci?
No, actually, no. We use Premiere Pro because we get a subscription. As you may know, we have the film program, but also animation. We all use Premiere Pro. Again, if on the side you want to keep using, your own software, that's not a problem. But we also want to try to give you a standard, industry standard experience, and even though Avid maybe is more industry standard, Premiere Pro is the first entrance to the industry for editing. So we'll use that.
Okay. And then last question. Uh, for the actual film submission when we put it in, would it be a bad look if we were to include drugs in our film?
No, it's the same thing I said for violence. I mean, I am not, in love with violence for the violence sake. I'm not in love with drug for the drug's sake. But I do understand that these are parts of our world, and sometimes we need to tell a story in order to better understand them and better understand the world we live in. So if it's relevant to you when it tells a story that you think is meaningful, it will be relevant to me. So, also I'm an Italian filmmaker, and in Europe we are less, strict on the use of violence, drug, and we really care for the story. The story is what matters. Therefore, this is also what you will learn, at CISA. If the story is meaningful, for sure we can include this element. Again, this means that I don't want violence for the sake of violence. This is not interesting. Or drugs. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Great to meet you. Yes, Santiago.
Hi, sorry. I have two questions.
Yeah.
First I was wondering, so I made this film like a little recently, but I
Mm-hmm.
submitted it to my school's film festival. Is it okay if I still submit it to CISA because I really still really like it and it's kind of personal to me?
Of course, anything that is valuable for you. So yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
a film, it's always absolutely. I'm very looking forward to watching it. Yes.
Thank you. And my second question for the afternoon when we're working on our films, this was like kind of like a second part to like Jesse's question about the softwares. Are we able, when we're making our own film, could we use softwares if like we already have DaVinci, if we could use that as well as Premiere?
So I really want everybody to learn Premiere Pro, and also you using DaVinci to edit or to do color correction?
To do color correction.
Ah, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now there's another thing. Yeah, because a lot of people use DaVinci, the easy, um, DaVinci to edit, which is terrible. I'm sorry, guys, but it's very, uh, you know, is not industry standard. And we really want to give you an opportunity to get out of CISA saying, I know how to use the software that is used in Hollywood, because if you do a college application and they see that you know how to edit not by using DaVinci but Premiere Pro, you will definitely get, you know, a greater consideration, I would say. So if it's DaVinci used for color correction, which is the best software to do color correction, yes. Premiere Pro, if you use it for editing, I would say no. Okay. Eventually, eventually the point is, however, that also it's very important to be aligned with the whole class, which means, we don't want to create any disparity, and we want to make sure that you work as a team, and therefore we all give the same tools and we want you to work as a team, which means eventually, if we teach you how to use Premiere Pro, you're all supposed to use Premiere Pro rather than DaVinci.
Thank you.
Yes.
So we're coming up to the end of our info session, but I want to make sure we get your questions answered. So can
Annabelle.
be with raised hands, fire away.
I have a question.
Oh, great.
So
Who's this?
it's
Okay.
my name is Alaya.
Alaya, great
Yeah,
to meet you.
great to
I
meet you
love your
too.
background. Are those
Oh,
your
thank you. This is
drawings?
my no, well, yeah, some of them they're like, but this is my mom's office. They're
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah,
Beautiful.
some of them are just like hand drawn by little kids.
Okay.
So it's a question about assignment C and B. They're kind of like the same question.
Mm-hmm.
So with C, about like a filmmaker, like if you like write a filmmaker or an artist, can you write about both?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. You can include it.
Okay.
Who's your favorite artist? Who
Artist, I
comes
would
up to your
say
mind?
Jean Michaels. I think that's how
Shawn
you say his
Michaels.
name.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
right.
Yeah, have you heard of the art festival that just recently happened with like
Yes,
Germany and the amusement park? My sister
of
actually went
course.
there and like she showed me a lot of his drawings and I actually did research on him and like I was just like really interested about that.
Interesting,
He
interesting.
actually died on my birthday.
Sorry, but
Like, yeah.
I'm bad, right, Jessica? I can't. I want to meet them. Sorry. I should. Let's stick to the question. Sorry, Jessica. I know. Sorry, everybody. However, yes, it's wonderful artist, and I think I would love to read about it. What is your
Yeah.
second question?
Pretty much the same thing. Can you write about a show and a movie too? Are they like
Yeah,
both? Okay.
absolutely. The most, the
Okay.
best, as far as is important for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Great. Sorry to cut you off. My bad. I know we
Oh
have
no,
a
you're good.
time
I talk a lot.
schedule. Sorry. No. I talk a lot. Okay, Aiden.
Yeah, which cameras would we be using?
Na na da 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 da. The question that you don't have to ask. I'm kidding. It's I want to make sure that equipment is not what I care for. It's really the story and the point of telling story. However, we make movies, and camera is really important. And as of now, I'm really working to bring an Arri Alexa, an Alexa Mini, which is the top line in the industry. If not, we're using Sony Alpha 7, and we have some Panasonic GH5. And yes, but you could also use your iPhone if you prefer, as far as you tell a story that is meaningful. Are you a cinematographer?
No, I was just wondering that.
Okay, great. But yes, so these are the camera we're using, and we have some fancy equipment. So it will be a great opportunity to also try great cameras. Thank you, Aiden. I was kidding, by the way. It was a great question. Annabelle.
Hi, I was just wondering, about how many students would you say are on the more unexperienced side versus the amount of students that are more experienced? Would you say most of the students are pretty much more experienced or a bit of a mix or
Mm-hmm. How are you? Are you very experienced or are you not very experienced?
I'm not very experienced, but
Don't you
I definitely
worry.
have a
You're very
passion.
welcome. You're very welcome. I would say that I create a very good melange, like balance, and there are definitely some students that have made film before and have skills, but there are people that have never made a film before, never even used a camera last year. So they're really coming to learn the process. So again, I'm really interested in your passion, your enthusiasm, and don't you worry at all. It might be tough for sure because it might implies that there are definitely more things that you have to learn rather than other students, but you're absolutely welcome to join, and you won't be the only one. There will definitely be students that never edit, or there because also these filmmaking, right? Some people maybe know how to edit, some people maybe know how to use a camera, but not vice versa. So don't you worry, you won't be alone. I'm looking forward to our application. Okay, Amico.
Hi,
Ciao.
hi. I was wondering how the classes are organized for the 4 weeks. Like, is it one day, like in the morning? Is it just us focusing on one thing that entire morning?
Great question. Thank you very much. Yes. So the way I do it is that it's we have Monday to Saturday, right? So it's 6 days. So each day, each morning, every students will divide students in groups, and will learn a different skill of filmmaking. It means Monday could be directing, then Tuesday is screenwriting, then Wednesday is production, then Thursday is what do I miss, etc., etc. So it means that basically you go around. So every morning or each week you learn a different skill of filmmaking, and then in the afternoon instead you have to put in practice what you learn in the morning. It means that also you will be divided in small groups, usually a group of 10. So you have really a nice environment, space to make questions, to really learn, and to really engage with your faculty so that it could be a meaningful experience for you. It's not just, 40 people and you can make questions. Does it answer to your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
So yes, will be great classes, learning all of it every morning, and with plenty of time and space to really engage with your faculty.
And I think we have time for one more question.
One more question. Da-da! Who's there? Santiago again?
Yeah, I'm so sorry for all these questions.
No, it's good.
I was wondering about for the files from from the writings from A to C, should we submit them in different files or should we have them all in one little document?
I would. It would be great if you can do one document. It would be fantastic. But
Yeah.
if not, it's okay. I'll go one by one.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you so much, Pietro, for answering all of these great questions and giving us so much amazing information about the CISA film program. If anyone didn't get their question answered, you can write comments at cisa.ca.gov. I just put that email in the chat. Shoot us an email if you have any more questions, and we will do our best to answer them. Join another info session. We're doing financial aid. We're doing general info sessions all this month. You can sign up for them the same way you signed up for this one. And I hope everybody on this call applies, and I hope we see you all this summer. So
yeah, and also these will be recorded and uploaded on YouTube. If you want to rewatch it, if you're not sure or want to send it to your friends, please share it with friends. We want more and more people, right?
Yes, share it. We'll be on YouTube tomorrow. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jessica. You are the best. Thank you very much for everything. And thank you, everybody. It was great to meet you. And I'm looking forward to meet you in person this summer. Grazie, Jessica. Grazie, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.
Ciao, ciao.